Hello and welcome to Hixxy Studio. In this video I'm going to show you how to make this card. I'm using this die. This is a Petite Fleur frame. It's from the Paper Panda collection from Creative Expressions, and this is the actual die. Excuse me. And then for the flowers I'm using the Elizabeth Crafts design, the Garden Notes Nasturtium. Okay, so we are going to start by cutting this die. I'm going to cut it out of the white. And now this die has a lot of detail to cut out. There's not a huge amount of embossed detail. You can see from the picture, you see these little darker bits. They're the only bits that you'll get an emboss from. Should you want one. I've just seen a little bit stuck in my die there. A little bit there. To make sure it's completely clean before we start cutting. There we go. It is one that may cut the first time, may not cut the first time. So we're going to have a look and see. So I've angled it slightly so that it's not going sort of straight edge on. We'll see how it does. So I've actually cut it twice, once in the white, which we're going to ink, and once in the blue, which I have already done. Turn over. Right, so you can see, gone through that way. These bits have cut. Okay, so what I'm going to do firstly, the first thing we'll do is we'll angle it that way. Okay, and we'll run that back through. And then if there's still bits that are not cut, then you've kind of got well, it depends. If it's all cut, but there's bits you're sort of a little bit dubious whether they're cut completely. We can either run it back through with a shim. Right, see now I've got bits that haven't cut at all. So what I am going to do is I am going to run it through with a shim. Now I feel the magnetic would be too thick. So I'm just going to use a piece of craft card. We'll see how that does. Okay, now the other thing, although I've said there's not a lot of embossed detail on this die, if you get to the stage where you think it's almost cut, you could just do with another little run through. And running it through with an embossing mat is always a good option, because it will. No, I've still got bits that I'm not cutting. You see here and here, and it may be my plate. So I'm going to submit and go with the magnetic. But we'll see. We'll see how we go on this one. So sometimes when you've got such an intricate die, it is going to need, I could hear a few bits go then, it is going to need you to run it through a few times and play around with your shims to see. You see now, look, I should have just gone with the magnetic. So you can see now that all of the lines are that dark colour, so I can see that it's cut through. That's popped out nicely. Take the tape off. Come up as well. So I'm going to get my my dry cleaning brush. I'm going to run that over. Rid of a fair bit of it before we start. Some of these bits that are popping out. Okay, and then I'll just release this. There we go. Let's few little bits in there. And a few little bits here. Like so. That's it. And because I used a magnetic, I've also, you can see the little, I suppose they're more a deboss than emboss, but you got the little bits of detail there. Okie dokie. So that's done. And I have also already cut it out of blue. And so we can start looking at assembling. Actually, we can't because I need to ink this. So these are the colours that I've gone for. And this this pink card chose this because it goes with the newest of the distress oxides, or not distress oxides, distress colours, the newest of the distress colours, saltwater taffy. Really, really lovely peachy pink. Really, really nice little colour here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just ink around the edge. I'm just going to grab my inking mat. And I'm going to add some colour around the outside and around the inner part of the aperture. Put your teeth in. Okay, so I'm just literally just catching the edge and going around. Okay. Going all the way around. You can see it really is a nice peachy, really lovely peachy pink. I have no idea really what saltwater taffy is, whether it's even this colour, but hey-ho. I like the colour, and that's what's important. Okay, like so that there. I'm going to start assembling the card. Need that in a moment, so I'm just going to put that out of the way. So I can start assembling the card like so. I'm going to use a spray glue in a minute on those two, just because it makes it easier for me. So let's get some glue on the back of this. This is just white card, same card as I've just cut out. It's the Crafter's Companion stamping card. I think they call it multi-purpose card now. But it's that. I've got that on the right way. So literally, I've used this a mat just to tie in with the white from here. I like to try and tie my colours in through a project. Okay, there's that one. Right, just put the lid on that glue for the moment, and then I'm just going to grab my tray and we're going to spray these two. At home, I would use a wet glue. It's just really watching me glue two of those. I think would yeah, definitely like watching paint dry. So I've got Crafter's Companion Stick and Stay. It's the permanent adhesive, and I'm just going to spray both of them. Make sure you do this in a ventilated room. Smell, it reminds me of pear drops. That kind of smell. And you need to leave it for about 30 seconds. These lovely little things. Always, I do this and then sometimes look at these things and wonder, oh, I wonder if I just dropped some mica powder or pixie powder or something on that now, whether it would stick hey ho. One of these days I'll try it out. One of these days. Okay, so I've now got these two. I was going to say I've lost my base card, but there it is. Okay, so this one is going on. Something I've forgotten to do, and I am going to do it. So whether I have to respray those or not, I want to do this, but I'm going to have to fiddle. The reason being is I wanted to put some ink stuff onto here. I say ink stuff, that's really descriptive, isn't it? I'm just going to improvise and use some tape around this so I don't get the ink anywhere else. Now, what I should have done before I stuck that down, I wasn't so hasty. I obviously when I do prep, I cut things a few times out of different things. Now, I had a bit of this left over from a different project. You see, it's just one of the corners of the die, and I actually used it to stencil through onto the card just to give it a little bit more detail. You could do it in the middle. I denied about that, and I'm still drawings out on whether it would be a good idea, and I'm not going to do it on this one. But you know, it's you know, you could stencil through the aperture. Right, okay, so right, my improvisation. So hopefully I've covered everything. So what I'm going to do is take this and my saltwater taffy on my brush, and I'm not kind of like lining it up particularly. I'm just going to then just ink through. There we go. I'm getting a nice sort of, you won't see it all anyway, but it kind of echoes then what we've already got with the die cut. So it's not introducing a different shape, we're introducing the same shape. I'm going to go round. So you know, you don't be afraid to use your die cuts in different ways. You know, just get some really lovely stencils from some of these intricate dies. And here. Oh, that one moved, not to worry. And then I'm just going to fill the gap in between those two. There, and the same down there. Brilliant. Okay, so whew, a good save there. Right, so take my tape off now. I can use that for some die cutting. Another project. See how much easier it would have been if I'd have done it when I should have, just before I stuck it down. But we got there. We managed to save it. There we go. So, and then I'm not convinced those are still tacky enough. I've left them too long, so I'm going to give them another quick spritz, and then we'll move on. Right. Ooh, lid didn't come off. Okay. Okay, let's take them out of the tray. Okay. Just It's 30 seconds. 30 seconds always seems so long when you're waiting for 30 seconds. I'm going to go ahead and stick it down. So this one I'm sticking sort of a little bit further down and just a little bit further across. And then this one is going a bit higher up and a bit more to the left. So we get that kind of effect of the two. Brilliant. Excellent. So next thing is the flowers. So put that to one side. Let's bring in the flower die. So this is the nasturtium die from Elizabeth Craft Design. We are going to use just the 2 parts of the flower. I'm not going to use the little stamen or the leaves or the stem for this. Just the 2 parts of the flower. It looks odd, but you've got this 3-part, and you can see this bit is a little bit bigger, and that one then sits that way up on top of it to create the flower. So let's cut one of these out. Some of that tape from before. And we'll run this through the machine. Like, I don't need my magnetic through. And then I'm just going to ink those before I put them together. In fact, before I ink them, I'm going to shape them. Sometimes when the petals are small, it's easier to do by with your fingers, but sometimes you've got larger round petals like this. It's quite nice to use the a ball tool to give them a really lovely shape, which is what we're going to do. The this back on my magnetic. So I have an old mouse mat. I have my 2 things. I'm going to turn them over. I'm going to use the larger, and I'm literally going to just go round and round. That's what I'm doing, round and round, round and round. And that gives us a nice shape. And then once I've done that, I'm going to ink the edges. Just push it on that one. Okay, so that's it shaped. And then my mat, and again I'm just going to use the saltwater taffy. There might be enough still on my plate there, on my mat. Go over the edges, the colour up in, and the same here. And there. Okay, so that's coloured. Okay, what else? We need to put this together, and I've got one more in here that I need to put together as well. I haven't shaped these ones, so what I will do is I will shape these now. Already inked them. I'll give them a bit of shape. Those 2, wasn't it? A ball tool. Okay, and a piece of paper to do our gluing on. So if you look, you can see if you play around with it, you can see that is the larger petal. It's the one that kind of sits on its own. These 2 tend to sit together. So, and then these ones need to be up that way. Okay. I say they need to be the way you would put it together if you're making a nasturtium, and to be honest, it doesn't really fit any other way. It does look a bit odd. Oops, I've got too much glue on there. It does look a bit odd if you try and put it together in a different way. Probably have done with just some acrylic glue on that rather than the 3D glue gel, but it's done. So we're going to put a little bit of glue here and here so that I can put the little flat back pearl embellishments on. I'll do that in a minute. My eye's not quite focusing on. There's my 2 pearls, my wax pencil there and there. So I have got 5. Yeah, as well. It's still a bit wet as well. So there's 5 flowers for us to put on, and I'm going to grab my sentiment first. She said, "Ah, there it is. There it is." We'll put our sentiment on first. Now, I don't mind having that kind of like blank space. Some people might not like it, but it's personal preference. You could stencil into the middle as well if you fancied it. But we've got quite a big happy birthday there. Okie dokie, and then we're just going to arrange flowers around. And again, I'm placing them down gently. I'm putting 3D glue gel on the back and gently kind of positioning them. Some of them are still quite wet anyways. It's going to take a little bit of time. A little bit of mess in there. Once I've got them all on, and then I can just wriggle them, because with 3D glue gel they'll still be quite movable. Yeah, probably some of them are still themselves not quite dry, but there we go. Well, we will cope. Yep, she says. Right. I'm going to get my pokey tool because I know this one is still wet, so if I'm trying to move it, the whole thing needs to move. Yeah, I think that would do. There we go. So I have used on this the Paper Panda craft dies. You know, it took a few goes through the machine to cut, but you know it is worth it. And you know, to be fair, it was me faffing without trying not to use too much pressure. And I've teamed that with the nasturtium die from Elizabeth Craft Design, just to make our flowers. Obviously they don't look like nasturtiums, but you don't have to always use them like that. Make sure you have a look on the channel. There is another video where I have used this in a slightly different way. Yeah, subscribe and you will get all the updates when we put new things on there. Thank you for joining me.